laws that the creditors, collection agencies, credit bureaus are supposed to abide by. There's over 200 of them that they're supposed to follow. In reality, studies show that about 79% of the time they don't. And it's basically by design. They know that the average consumer does not know the laws. They know the average consumer doesn't know how to navigate the system. Some don't even know where to start. So they take advantage of that. It's a numbers game to them. They're willing to violate some of those laws because the numbers are on their side. They make so much money that they're willing to do that, right? It's like there's a speed limit sign of 30 miles an hour. How many people go over 30 miles an hour because there's a small chance that maybe they may not get pulled over? Okay. So what we do is we go in and we audit, we investigate the credit report, begin finding those errors, build a case, and try to get them removed. Okay. That's in a nutshell. Now, our other part of our program is we help people rebuild and reestablish and show them how to manage their credit correctly. Okay. Now, let me tell you what credit repair is not. Okay. Credit repair is not some magic trick, some hidden secret that someone knows that's gonna wipe clean your credit report overnight and you're gonna have a new file, and that's not credit repair. Okay. If you hear something like that, it's probably something shady going on, and I can bring up a couple things. So, if anyone is ever telling you to claim identity theft, file a police report, say an account is not yours, when indeed it is, in fact it is, that is not credit repair. Okay? Nothing about credit repair involves lying. As a matter of fact, with our clients, if you have a collection, a medical collection, and you didn't pay it, we're not going to say that you paid it, or we're not going to say it's not yours. As a matter of fact, we may say, yes, that's correct if they validate it or verify it, but this will point out this and this is wrong. This is an error. This is a violation of FCRA section, whatever it may be. Okay? It's not identity theft. If you see that or you hear that, that's not credit repair. Okay? Um, Saying that someone has a connection, a buddy at the credit bureaus, and they're going to get things off, that's not credit repair either. Okay, first of all, it's probably a lie. Um, we're not a third world country. Not to say that things like that happen, but that's more than likely not what they're doing. Okay, sending just some generic dispute letters or going online and Credit Karma and just disputing something with no factual basis is not credit repair. Okay, um, so trade adding trade lines, buying trade lines is not credit repair. Can it help? Yes, when done legally correctly, with the relative, but not buying these trade lines, and you can get in trouble for that. Okay, so none of those things are credit repair. And I'll be the first to say that credit repair has had a negative stigma. The industry's kind of had a black eye, stemming to a lot of times all the way back to 2008 with the whole crisis, and credit repair companies started just popping up. People read a couple books, see a couple videos, think they can just make some letters and send things out. Um, as a credit repair company, just as a lot of you lenders and realtors, we have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients, right? If you do certain things, you can get a client in trouble potentially. So we take this very serious, right? Um, so I just kind of want to get that out the way that yes, it's not a scam, although there are credit repair scams. So I don't want to take a lot of time tonight, but I wanted to go over a couple red flags to look out for when you're looking to hire a credit repair company or a credit repair specialist. Um, you want to look out for these, okay? So, number one, no one can guarantee a specific result, okay? No one can guarantee exactly that your points will go up to a certain amount, by a certain amount. They cannot guarantee that that will happen in a specific amount of time. They cannot guarantee that any one particular item will be deleted. Okay. What we can do potentially is give you historical statistical data. For example, 60% of this type of account we're usually able to remove. On average, a client may take, 6, maybe up to 12 months, things like that. But we cannot legally guarantee anything, okay? Which we're regulated. There's the law, the Credit Repair Organizations Act, okay? CROA. It's almost like an attorney. An attorney cannot guarantee that you're gonna win, or your case is gonna, the case is gonna win. You're gonna be innocent. You hire them because of their knowledge and to represent you for the potential of winning. And it's the same thing with credit repair. So be very wary of anyone guaranteeing. Okay, get a drink of water here. And if you have any questions, you can also post them in the comments, even if you're watching the replay and I try to get back to them. Let me. I think someone sent me a message. Let me just check something here real quick. Okay, so um, red flag number 2, I kind of talked about it already. But if a credit repair company or credit repair person, individual, is telling you to claim identity theft or put a fraud alert on your credit report, or I've seen people tell them to go file a police report so they can send that to the Federal Trade Commission. That's not credit repair. Okay. Now, if you are actually a victim of identity theft, that's a different story, and you'll have to back that up, right? A lot of times when people think it's identity theft, it's actually a merged file. It's not someone actually using your information. It's the, let's say, FICO algorithm confusing you with someone else because you have a similar name, date of birth, couple numbers of your social match. Okay, but if you know you haven't been a victim of identity theft and they're blatantly telling you to do that, run the other way. Okay, fraud alerts, police reports, all these different things. Okay. Number 3, be weary of being charged up front and a flat fee up front. Okay. Again, like I mentioned, we're highly regulated. So you can't charge up front for credit repair. We have to charge as services are being rendered. For example, in our services, the initial fee is called the audit and setup fee. So that fee is for when we are going to go into the credit report, we're going to audit, we're going to do that investigation, see what we're going to fight, see what we can find. We provide the client with a written audit, a PDF in their portal. Now, that may be billed the same day potentially once the audit is done. Going forward, their first monthly payment for actual credit repair, contacting creditors, sending disputes, challenges, whatever it may be, is not billed until 30 days. So our client is always paying for the previous month's work. And that's legally how we have to bill as services are rendered. So you can't charge someone $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 up front and then do the work. So that's another red flag to look for. Run the other way. Another thing is another red flag of no legitimate credit repair company will be doing is what I mentioned earlier about trade lines or authorized user trade lines. So it's big in some places. I know it happens in my hometown here. I know other places in Texas it happens, but I'm not here to point fingers. I'm just here to educate you all to make sure you can educate your client and, obviously keep everybody out of trouble. So what do I mean by that? Like I mentioned earlier, credit cards, trade lines on your credit report have a very, very big impact. Um, they impact a lot of parts of the credit score, your credit utilization, your age, things like that. So a trick is if someone adds you to their card and they've got perfect payment history for years, a high credit limit, a credit limit with a very low balance of less than 10%, that shows up on your credit report, that is going to boost your score. Definitely. That is a method, a tactic that we use if a client has a spouse, a brother, a relative, a friend that's within arm reach that you can prove that. That is a strategy. That is something you can do. But when these places start adding you to cards of people you don't know and they're charging for that, that's illegal. Okay? Charging you, it's illegal even if you charge your friend, okay? Brokering that deal. That is illegal. Doing that can also be construed as mortgage fraud. And it hasn't happened here locally, I don't believe, but there are cases that people have been indicted on for mortgage fraud. Actually, even some very severe cases where they've indicted multiple bought by a third party debt collector or has been charged off. The act of paying it is not going to increase your credit score. Okay, it will still be a derogatory item. As a matter of fact, a collection with $1,000 balance and a zero balance impacts your score exactly the same. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't pay it, okay, if we have financial obligations. But there's a couple things there. Remember, I said it doesn't impact your credit score. It can impact, though, the possibility of an approval. As lenders in here may know, if you have a collection or something with a balance, you have to include that into DTI with the formula, whatever it may be. So it can potentially help someone if their score is already where it needs to be, but their DTI is high. That can help get an approval. It looks better, okay, on a credit report, and that can maybe be taken into consideration. But for the credit score, it doesn't help, okay? There's different reasons. You may settle something if maybe they're coming after you to sue you for the debt, whatever it may be. But the point I was trying to get across is you hear a lot of, I always ask clients, are you trying to raise your credit score to qualify for something, or are you just trying to pay the debt because they're coming after you, or whatever the case is? Because most debt settlement services, what they'll do is that you will be paying them and they'll basically be pulling that money together and negotiating with the creditors to, for a lesser amount. During that time, those cards are still reporting. If they're late, they'll keep on reporting 30, 60, 90, 180 until they're eventually charged off. Or if they're charged off, they're still charged off or in collections at the moment. During that time, you're still susceptible to legal action. They may, if they want to go sue you. So debt settlement is something, there's a place for that. And we go over that with clients. But most of our clients, their credit score is low because of derogatories or whatever it may be. And they're trying to get their score up to qualify for a house. So that's where I mean that credit repair and debt settlement are different, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up today. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions, kind of what I went over. I'll also, there should be in the comments there, if you need assistance with clients, me and my team are here to help. There's a link where you can fill out a form. It comes over to us. There's always a free consultation to see if we can help. And we'll talk next week.